If you are saying all the time, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed, the universe is not going to give you more to work with because your capacity, you're in fight or flight so much. Why would the universe give you something more? That's crazy. That's like literally crazy to think about. The universe isn't going to give you more if you feel maxed out.
Welcome to the Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation podcast hosted by me, Michaela J. Get ready to dive into an action-packed, bougie-based, and spiritually guided experience on all things manifesting your next level Lux life. Let's go.
Hey, gorgeous. Welcome back to the Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation podcast with your girl. It is I, the Michaela J, here to teach you how to manifest your next level Lux life. Happy freaking Wednesday. I still cannot get over the fact that we're in the 300s of my episodes. 300s. That's literally crazy. If you're like, Michaela, you sound really weird today. You sound a little different. Your girl just hosted a friend in town all weekend and I drank entirely too much wine and now I sound slightly like a frog, but that's that because I finished up my 75 hard year. So I'm allowed to drink because in the phases you're completely sober. So it was my first time like having a little drinksy, having a little night out, having a little espresso martini moment, if you will. And now I sound a little scaly, but we're here. We're here. Happy Wednesday. I'm going to bring it. And today I kind of just want to word vomit some thoughts to you about what you're currently overcoming is exactly the initiation you need to move through to get to your next level. I've been having this conversation a lot behind the scenes with clients, with friends, with myself. And so I thought, okay, this is a recurring thing. Let's bring it to the podcast. But before we jump in, like I mentioned on Monday, my signature manifestation program, the Method, is getting a makeover. She's getting a revamp. She's getting a rebrand. She is getting her, she's leveling up. Okay. It's now called the Manifestation Effect, where mindset and inspired action creates instant results. Hi, we love her. This is a manifestation system. Okay. No more random rituals. No more it's not working. Now I need to do this different type of meditation, reaching for something, right? This is a repeatable system that's going to work for every single up level that you can plug and play with new limiting beliefs, with new patterns, with new goals, with new aspirations, new actions. That's going to take you exactly where you want to go every single time you meet those new levels, new devils. All right. The brand new content is going to be dropping. And before it drops, you can get in at pre-sale, which is the current pricing of Method. Once we drop the new modules, it's going to go up to the full price. So if you are ready to get your manifestations in check and you want a system that you can use over and over and over again to manifest your luxury lifestyle, then get your booty in now. The link is going to be in the show notes for you with the old sales page for Method where you can get the discount. When everything gets upgraded, that's when the upgraded price comes in. I cannot wait to see you inside and for you to see the new system. It's going to be so good. But let's have a little chat. So this is, like I said, something that's been coming up a lot for the people around me and for myself is what you're currently navigating. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. What you're currently navigating is exactly what you need to be facing and what you need to overcome to get to that next level. Obviously, there is where we are right now and where we want to be. And so whatever is in the way of that is what's in the way of our manifestation. So that might be a block. That might be a pattern. That might be you feeling like you're stuck in a certain situation. I remember feeling that way in college of feeling like, oh, I'm stuck in college. Like if I had all this extra time, I would get my business where I want it to be. I would get my health where I want it to be. I would get to travel where I want to be without having to work with the constrictions of a school and time or whatever. So like whatever you feel like you're navigating, overcoming that is exactly what's going to get you to the next level. But not only the challenges, it's the things that you are repeating to yourself over and over and over again. It's the fears you're repeating over and over and over again. It's the patterns. It's the things that irritate you. It's the things that you're feeling. We did a whole episode about stress, like stressed by. What is coming up for you repeatedly? What is a recurring thought that you are having, something that you don't want to be dealing with anymore, or something that your next level self wouldn't be dealing with? Overcoming that is what's going to get you to the next level. Part of you has normalized this challenge or this recurring thought pattern of yours, and so it stays. over and over and over again, month after month, situation after situation, schedule after schedule. And that's exactly why you stay in the same place, is because you're holding this near and dear. And part of you is okay with that process. Okay. And the reason why you're okay with it is not necessarily like, I've accepted this. It is what it is. I can't change it. It's a lot of times because we don't even think that this is something that I should be changing. We don't think this is something that's blocking me from my next level. And I want to give you an example of what I'm navigating right now that I know once I overcome it, things are going to be like popping off like hotcakes all over again. Like this happens at every level. Okay. It's like when we get through, I feel like this is the cycle. It's like we've got all this motivation. You know, we've talked about the up level cycle a lot. So this is a little different. We get all this motivation. We're doing things and we're crushing it. And we feel motivated and we're doing new things and new challenges and whatever. And then we go through a phase where it doesn't feel like things are as popping. It doesn't feel like things are as fiery. It's not the up level cycle where it's like then shit's hitting the fan. It's like you just don't feel the same. You know what I mean? And you don't have that same motivation, that same excitement. You're kind of in that lull. And that's where these patterns are revealed. That's where the current thing you need to navigate is revealed so you can get to the next level, so you can get to the other side. For me right now, for a long time, it was stress. And we did a whole episode on that. If you haven't listened, you definitely need to. I'll have it linked in the show notes. I don't know what number it is, but it's a really, really good one. I talk about how last year, one of the biggest things that I overcame is I no longer feel stressed. I completely ditched the emotion of stress because I'm like, if I'm stressed now, like I'm going to be stressed as fuck at the next level and I'm going to be popping off gray hairs and I'm going to get stress acne and it's not going to be cute and I'm going to be inflamed because my cortisol is going to spike, right? So I got rid of stress completely in my life. And I gave a bunch of examples of how you can start to do that. But what I'm navigating now, my next level thing is overwhelm, which to me, stress and overwhelm are very different emotions. Stress is like, high stress situation. My heart's pounding. Oh my God. I'm so stressed out. I'm like, there's so many things being thrown at me. It's like this fight or flight feeling versus overwhelm is like, holy shit, there is a lot going on. I want to take a nap. Okay. This is feeling heavy. That's the difference. To me, stress feels like fight or flight and overwhelm feels heavy. Like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. Like my plate is overflowing. This is a heavy ass plate. Stress is like you're cooking the meal and 3 things are on fire. 1 thing's burnt and 1 thing is perfect, but now it's getting cold because everything else is not done. You know what I mean? Okay. So what I'm navigating right now is overcoming this feeling of overwhelm. When I make a quantum leap and I take a batshit crazy action step, then I get into it and then I feel really overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, wait, how do I fit this into my schedule? This feels heavy. This feels like it's asking a lot of me. This feels like, oh my gosh, I'm getting more messages. I'm getting more of this. So there's more emails. There's more coordination. There's more files being dropped all over the place. Like there's more. Oh my God, it feels heavy. And that's because it's stretching our capacity, which we've talked a lot about. Like when your capacity is being stretched, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable. You're going to have to wiggle through it. But what I noticed and why I wanted to bring up this conversation is that this is a pattern for me. Like I will go through these up levels and then I feel super overwhelmed and then I learn how to navigate the overwhelm and then I'm on the other side. Great. However, overwhelm does not have to be a part of the process. Overwhelm does not have to be a part of the process. It's the same thing when we do something new and it doesn't go out the exact way that we want it to, how we beat ourselves up, that doesn't have to be a part of the process. If something doesn't go your way, it doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to, you miss a day of something, like you don't have to tear yourself down. That negative self-talk does not have to be a part of the process. Same thing as overwhelm. I noticed that this was my pattern month after month. I was taking batshit crazy action. So my life is up leveling. Things are working. Manifestations are flowing, but it's not how I want to be feeling in the manifestation, if that makes sense. So I had a hard look in the mirror with myself and I recognized this is something I'm saying a lot. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I don't feel stressed because I don't feel frazzled. I don't feel frantic, but I feel like heavy. This feels like a heavy plate of food, literally. I'm like, this feels overwhelming, like an overwhelming amount of food. And I kept saying that month after month after month because I would do something new. And I don't want to feel that way anymore. And while I was thinking through it, I'm like, the reason why this is coming up for me and why this is what I'm navigating right now is because this version of me who feels overwhelmed with these things on her plate, The version of me 5 years down the line is going to laugh at that plate. Michaela 5 years down the line is going to laugh her ass off seeing what was on my plate now and be like, you were overwhelmed at that? Like, come on, girl. Like, we can do so much better. We can do so much more. We can handle so much more. Like, I do that amount. I handle that amount in my sleep, you know? So like the next level version of you, she's going to laugh at your current idea of stress. She's going to laugh at your current idea of overwhelm. She's going to laugh at your current levels of things that make you feel anxious or whatever it is that you're navigating, things that make you sad. She's going to be like, you were getting sad over that, and not in a mean girl way, but in like a, oh my gosh, like we handle so much more now. We have such an array of emotions now. We can handle so many emotions at once now. And so you have to go through this initiation. Whatever you're navigating right now, you've got to like tighten ship. You got to get that shit in check. That way at your next level, you can handle more. You can be more. You can be happier in the process. Because for me, while I'm up-leveling, I want to be enjoying it. I don't want to be overwhelmed at every turn. And so there has to be a reprogramming that happens in that process. And this is very similar to the stress episode where I was telling you, if you are saying all the time, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed, the universe is not going to give you more to work with because your capacity, you're in fight or flight so much. Why would the universe give you something more? That's crazy. That's like literally crazy to think about. The universe isn't going to give you more if you feel maxed out. And same thing if you're feeling overwhelmed. Like the thing I'm navigating is like, well, if things feel so heavy now, I'm not going to add on this other thing that could make you feel even heavier, that could make you feel even more overwhelmed. It's a max capacity. If you're feeling sad about this, I'm not going to give you more because then are you going to be sad in 3 months? If you're feeling left out now, I don't want to give you more friends. And then there are more friend groups that are doing more things. You can't always make it. And you feel even more left out. Like what you're going through right now, the things you're feeling, the things you're navigating, the things that you are saying, the patterns you're recognizing, they have to be dealt with now. And on the other side is your up level. And you're going to enjoy it more because you nipped these things in the butt. And it's not always going to be this big challenge or this big problem that's going on in your life. It could literally be a pattern you have or something you're saying. Because for me, the overwhelm wasn't from a big problem. It's literally from me taking my life to the next level, taking my business to the next level, like taking my social life to the next level, my trips to the next, like so many amazing positive things that I was like, oh yeah, it's just like so normal to be overwhelmed about this. Like, oh yeah, it's so sad it's so normal to feel sad about that. It's so normal to feel this. So we normalize the things that we're going through, and that's fine, but I don't want to normalize overwhelm. What are you normalizing right now? And is that something you actually want to be normalizing? That's a really tough question to think about. And it makes you look back and you're like, holy shit, I've actually been saying this for months. I've actually been normalizing this for quite some time. I've actually been dealing with this for a prolonged amount of time. No wonder I'm not where I want to be, because she would be feeling this times 10. And I love talking about this with money specifically, because when we manifest more money, whatever you're feeling right now is going to expand. So if you feel, let's say, overwhelmed with the idea of taxes right now, imagine having 10 times the amount of money you have and dealing with taxes then. That feeling is going to grow times 10, and you're going to be shutting down. Your system's going to be shutting down. However you're feeling about your career right now, if you feel like you've got a lot on your plate, you feel like you're always left out in the team plans, you feel like you're really maxed out doing it on your own. If your business grows times 10, that feeling grows times 10. If you feel like I don't know how to budget my money, I feel bad while spending money, I feel irresponsible with money, when you have more money, that feeling grows times 10. So what you're navigating right now, what you're normalizing, what you're basically putting up with, so to speak, it just grows as you up level. And that's a lot of times the exact reason why we won't up level, because your body doesn't want to handle 10 times that feeling. But I've been thinking about this with our belief system recently too, because a lot of times we think like, oh, well, I must have this like limiting belief I need to overcome. And what part of me doesn't believe that this can happen? And what part of me like doesn't believe I can do that? Like a girl like me can do that. Like we're digging internally for something, and it's not anything deeper than what we're currently settling for and what we're currently repeating to ourselves. Like it can be that simple. It could be like, oh, this makes me really sad. And we keep saying saying that and we keep accepting that and we keep feeling that, well, that's what's standing in the way. For me, it was overwhelm. It's like, oh my God, well, I keep saying that I'm overwhelmed. So how are these things that I'm working on supposed to grow? How is this supposed to expand? How am I supposed to launch this new project when I'm already overwhelmed with the things I've got going on? Oh my gosh, it's right in front of me. And it's not this thing of like, I can't handle it. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. It's none of that. We've already done that work, right? It's beyond that. It's just this thought pattern and almost a speech pattern you keep repeating to yourself and settling in, like, yeah, literally settling in, that is holding us back from the next level. So when you're thinking about where you are right now and where you want to go, check in with yourself. Do I believe I can get there? Do I believe I'm good enough? Do I believe someone like me can have something like that? If those bases are covered and it's a full body yes, you're like, I know I can have it. I'm so excited about it. I know this is what I want my life to look like. I know I'm the person to make it happen. Then what's standing in the way is just the emotions and the thought patterns that you are settling on. So from there, you need to ask yourself, what do I keep repeating to myself? What do I keep telling my friends? What are the emotions that are regularly coming up for me? Typically, this is an emotion thing. Everything in the universe is based off of vibration. It's based off of a feeling. It's based off of the energy, the emotions moving through our body. So what have you been feeling most regularly? Is that something you've been settling on? It's just your regular schmegular day to be stressed. It's a regular schmegular week to get overwhelmed. It's a regular schmegular weekend to feel a little sad, little lonely, little whatever it is you're feeling. What have you been feeling most often? That could be the exact thing you need to shift to click over and get exactly what you want. Is no longer settling for these lower vibrational feelings or even neutral feelings. Like, I don't want to be overwhelmed. I want to be energized. I want to look at this heavy plate. I'm literally thinking of Thanksgiving. Okay. I want to look at this heavy plate of Thanksgiving food. And I'm like, this is a heavy fucking plate. I cannot wait to dive in. That's the mindset shift. Not, oh my God, this is a heavy plate. I don't know if I can eat all this food. My eyes are bigger than my stomach. Like, this is heavy. I can barely carry it to the table. Things are spilling, falling. Oh, it's messy. Now I'm irritated. Now there's gravy on my dress. Like, that's one way to look at it. But what I'm shifting into with the overwhelm is like, holy shit, there is an abundance of food on this plate. I cannot believe there's so much gravy on this plate. It's literally going all over me. I'm giggling while I'm getting to the table. I'm like, someone put a dinner roll on top. I have no hands. Like, this is amazing. I can't wait to dive into this meal. That's the shift. And you don't even have to change what's on the plate. I don't, like with overwhelm too, I don't want to take things off my plate. There's nothing I'm doing right now that I don't want to be doing. So what has to shift when that is the case? This works for stress too. If you're like, well, I'm feeling stressed out, but there's nothing I want to eliminate, then you have to change your mindset. It's not changing the schedule. It's not changing what you're doing. It's changing how you are viewing things. Same thing with sadness, same thing with loneliness, like whatever those emotions are that you need to work through. It's changing how you view the plate. That will be your breakthrough to the next level. And then instantly, literally instantly, your energetic capacity is going to expand. Because this is what I want to say on the energetic capacity thing. You can be uncomfortable, but it doesn't need to be overwhelming. You can be uncomfortable, but that doesn't need to be stressful. You can be uncomfortable, but that doesn't have to bring anxiety. Those things are not mutually exclusive. So I want to make that super clear, right? For me, when I'm making these quantum leaps and taking batshit crazy action, I'm expanding my capacity. It's uncomfortable. It's a new amount of things I'm either doing or managing or embodying, new feelings I'm feeling into. It's uncomfortable. It's new. It's different. It's growth. But it doesn't mean it has to be overwhelming. Doesn't mean it has to be stressful. Doesn't mean I have to be sad. Doesn't mean that I have to feel negative. Doesn't mean I have to feel a spiral coming on, whatever that is. They are not mutually exclusive. Okay. So I know this is a shorter episode for our Wednesdays. Usually we do something longer, but I just wanted this to be punchy and to the point that whatever you're navigating right now, and it could just be a feeling you have normalized. It doesn't have to be a challenge, but whatever you're navigating, whatever you're going through right now, that's the exact thing that needs to shift for you to get your next level. And the shift doesn't have to be changing anything in your life. It's changing something in your mind. It's changing something in your heart, and it's changing something in your energy. So again, remember what our homework is. When you're thinking about where you are now and where you want to be, do you feel like you can do it? Do you feel like you can have it? You feel worthy of it. You feel like, yes, a girl like me can absolutely achieve something like that. Great. When you've got the base foundation, you're good. I want you to ask yourself, well, what have I been currently navigating? Okay, maybe it's some sort of issue. Maybe there's been a lot more miscommunication in your life. Maybe you've been more sad than usual. Maybe you're having some sad girl hours. Like, what's contributing to that? For me, it's like, okay, I've been feeling really overwhelmed. Great. Well, what's going on? Why am I feeling overwhelmed? Where's the perspective shift? Because that's where we have to look at, like, oh, if it's stress, if it's sadness, if it's overwhelm, is there something you need to remove? Like, why is this happening? If there's nothing to remove, it's a perspective shift waiting to happen. To find this thing that you're navigating that you need to overcome, ask yourself, what have I been feeling lately? What have I been saying lately? What are the conversations I've been having over and over and over again? Whether it's with other people, in your journal, in your mind, like what have you been feeling regularly, almost daily? It's typically something that you're feeling daily or you're feeling monthly. It's a recurring thing coming up for you. I want you to dive into that and see, once you identify what that feeling is, look at your next level. Like visualize what that is. Because for me, once I realized, oh my God, I'm saying I'm overwhelmed a lot. Like it was starting to like give me the ick for myself. I'm like, girl, like, why are you so overwhelmed all the time? Like we need to like get this in check. And I thought about my next level self and like where I'm taking things in my life. And I'm like, she would not feel overwhelmed. Like she would be getting her shit done. She would know that there's a lot on her plate. She would know there's a lot of responsibility. She would know that there's a lot to manage. She would know that she is becoming a person who is a lot, who is embodying a lot, who's calling in a lot, but it wouldn't be overwhelming for her. So why am I letting it be overwhelming for me now? Just because it's uncomfortable, and then identifying that I don't have to feel that way. No one's holding a gun to my head saying, Michaela, you have to feel overwhelmed in this process. So why am I putting that on myself when I could be adding in a more positive, a more uplifting perspective shift? Okay. I want to know how this resonates with you. Make sure you join our free Facebook group. It's called Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation. It's on Facebook. It's also linked in the show notes. And I want to know what's come up for you. What are you navigating right now? What do you know you need to shift? What are you ready to embody? What's your perspective shift going to be? Let that be the place where you empower yourself of like, I have been saying that I'm stressed a lot and I'm done with that. I'm no longer stressed. I'm expanding my capacity. It's uncomfortable. I'm doing things in a new way and I know I can fucking crush this. Like, let us know, what is your new power statement? For me, like, I'm no longer overwhelmed. I'm looking at my heavy ass plate and I'm like, I'm excited to dive in. I can't wait to eat those mashed potatoes, add a dinner roll, throw some butter on top. I want more gravy. I want more stuffing. Like, bring it on. I'm ready to dive in. That feels so much better than like, this plate's heavy, it's spilling all over the place. Oh my God, I'm not even gonna be able to finish all this, right? Such an energetic difference. Find what's your heavy Thanksgiving plate, okay? And tell us about it in the Facebook group. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you on Monday. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to leave a 5-star rate and review. I love hearing your takeaways and wins from the podcast in the review section, so don't forget. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.